Yo, what up, guys? Quick live stream. Let's find some bets. Esports lines just dropped. Starting out pretty hot today. Previous live stream just cashed a 3-pick entry on Underdog, 100 to win 600, and we also have some good plays open. So here we just need one CS:GO play. And again, value in esports. There's a lot of value in esports. We're definitely going to have some esports bets on this live stream. It's not the most popular sport. Not a ton of people watch it, but there's a ton of games, right? And lots of games means lots of surface area for sportsbooks to cover, lots of opportunities for them to screw up lines. And you can see some of these early CS:GO lines are pretty messed up. So there's definitely some opportunities. So what we can do is we can go ahead. Let me actually log into PrizePicks as well. But you can see there's some big discrepancies in esports. So let me pull up PrizePicks real quickly, and then we can try to lock in some good plays on Underdog. Underdog, we've been hot. PrizePicks a little cold recently. I'm sure it'll bounce back, but come on, PrizePicks. So let's log into PrizePicks, and there we go. Okay, let's share this screen. What's up, guys? I'm not late, but anyways, let's share the screen, and let's just go through some bets. So again, this tool right here, the Fantasy Optimizer on OddsJam, pretty simple tool. All it's going to do is point out discrepancies. So you can see PrizePicks is the one with a promo going on right now. Alyssa Thomas, they have a discount on her. But regardless, the value's in CS:GO. So if you take a look at this player, Nafani, his line on PrizePicks is 34. You take a look at Underdog Fantasy, they have his line at 30.5. So early esports line, this game starts at 6:30. 6:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. And that's valuable information for us. So, there's a lot of different things we could do here. What we could do is we could take the over on Underdog Fantasy, the under on PrizePicks, right? It's kind of like buying a stock for $30.50. And then you go and you flip it and you sell it, take the under on PrizePicks, for $34. But anyways, let's just expand my screen a little more. Okay, we're looking good. What's up, guys? Anyways, let's hit it. So let's this. You can see this plays on Fliff. College football bet. This is the first college football bet I've seen on Fliff. NC State versus Connecticut. So we can actually, pull this up. So I've said this before, but we want to take the over 48 points. You got to know how to navigate these books quickly. We want to get in on the best betting opportunity. So if Fliff will load, we want to take the over 48 points in this game once they load. So alternate total score, we're literally day trading the sports books, taking advantage of the inefficiencies on the books. So the quicker we can go, the better. So Fliff only has, they have a max bet size of $250. So we'll go ahead and we'll lock this in, and that'll be the first play of the live stream. Then we'll head over to Underdog Fantasy. But you can see two of the smartest bookmakers out there, the sharpest bookmakers. You have Pinnacle, right? They just, they've been dropping odds, or, they've been moving lines in favor of the over. The over 48 points has moved from -102 all the way down to -117. So I don't know, right? Maybe there's weather changes, whatever. For whatever reason, they have the over as the favorite outcome. So Bookmaker, another pretty smart, sharp sports book, they have the over 48 favored. So that's two sports books, Bookmaker and Pinnacle, smart sports books that are saying, hey, we think the over is the more likely outcome, the favorite outcome. And we're getting it at +100, right? It's kind of like flipping a coin with a friend for $100, right? This is a positive EV tool. It's kind of like flipping a coin with a friend for $100. If the game goes over, you get $100. If it doesn't, you lose $100. If your unit size is $100, we hit this for $250. In both Bookmaker and Pinnacle, right? They're both telling us, hey, the over's the more likely outcome. So it's kind of like we found a coin weighted in our favor, right? Which is essentially what positive EV betting is, right? You're finding bets where the odds are actually in your favor because the sports book is screwing up. So what OddsJam is doing is just reading in all these college football lines, tons of games. Looks like this one's starting next week. And it's just pointing out, here's another one. Garcia, over half of a hit. That play seems decent. But anyways, man, we got another bet, right? Colorado State Rams, +105. Pinnacle, they're ripping odds in favor of, Colorado State. So might as well lock in a second college football bet. And then we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at, so we want to take Colorado State and we want to take them plus 11. So we need to go to the alternate point spread, lock it in plus 11 for plus 100. College football can't come soon can't come soon enough. So let's go ahead. Let's lock this in. Here's another play on Fliff. So you can see there's all these different lines, right? We're hunting for those few rare betting opportunities where a sportsbook is slipping up. And you can see right here, we got another good play on Fliff. So that'll be the second bet we go with, right? It's a volume game. You know, it's like being a great poker player. You want to play as many hands as possible. Not going to win every bet, but again, when we have an edge, we're going to win long term. But anyways, let's go to Underdog Fantasy. Before these lines start to move, you can see, did they just move this line? So the first play, well, let's go ahead. Let's refresh this. Let's take a look at Underdog. So here's another big discrepancy, this time on Zorti, right? In general, not a ton of books post esports lines, which is kind of like one of the disadvantages. But you can see here we have a discrepancy, 3 kill discrepancy. You will never see a 3-point discrepancy in the NBA, right? The markets are too efficient. In esports, you know, these sports books, it's like they don't know how to set their lines. There's a lot of opportunity. So this will be the first play we go with. We want to go with Bet Boom over 38. Then we can take Umar under 37, or maybe we take his headshots. So this play seems decent. I mean, this is crazy, right? Imagine Anthony Davis, his rebound line being 10.5 on PrizePicks and then 13.5 on Underdog Fantasy. That's crazy, right? Like you could take his over right here, right? You take his under on Underdog Fantasy. If he has 11, 12, or 13 headshots on the first 2 maps, we're going to win both bets. So that's definitely a good play, definitely something we want to go with. So Alyssa Thomas points. Let's take a look at this play. So we can go to WNBA player points. This play seems incredible, right? Again, data-driven sports betting. We're day trading the sports books out of these tens of thousands of lines on Underdog Fantasy. Most of these bets suck, right? We're looking for those few spots where they're actually messing up a line. And you're going to see for Alyssa Thomas, this tool is the sportsbook screen. Underdog has her line at 17. SportsBattle, right? All these books are data points. Anyways, let's just hit it before the line moves. Damn it, they moved that play. So let's just be quiet for a second. Let's try to, lock in one of these plays. So let's just reload Underdog Fantasy, right? Let's just go back here. Okay. So we want to take Umar under 13.5. We want to take Alyssa Thomas under 17 points. That bet's really good, right? Clear as day. All the other books have her line at 15.5 or 16.5 on PrizePicks, 16 on SportsBattle, right? Like that's valuable information to us as a sports bettor. Clearly, they're asleep at the wheel. And then what else do we want to take? So we just need one more pick to go with. You can see a lot of CSGO lines are starting to drop, between PrizePicks and Underdog. So maybe we take Hades under 40. Damn, they are on top of these lines. Hades under 40. You can see, like, you really have to move quickly. You're literally day trading the sports books. The good thing is Umar, we can also take him under 37 kills. They moved the previous line, 3 picks, all unders. We're getting a 6x payout on Underdog Fantasy for these 3-pick entries. So we can go ahead and we can rip this, right? I'm trying to move quickly, but hopefully you're able to tail this. You can see they just locked the headshot line. They graded out, but here's the 3 picks we're going to go with. So we can lock it in. And there we go. So we have a 3-pick entry. Again, Underdog Fantasy, they give you a 6x payout on these 3-pick entries. PrizePicks only gives you a 5x payout, right? That's why PrizePicks, you won't see me place 5-pick entries. You'll see me place, or you will see me place 5-pick entries, not 3-pick entries. But on Underdog Fantasy, we do a lot of 3-pick entries. Again, they're giving you a better payout. And all that stuff really matters long-term, right? The payout you're getting obviously matters long-term in terms of, your profitability, stuff like that. So what do we want to look at next? I mean, we can look at different sports books, again, like the more books you have, the better. Today, PrizePicks is the one running a promo. They got their Taco Tuesday promo running, but the more books you have, right, the better. They're the ones running the promo, but Underdog Fantasy has some really good value. So we place that bet on Underdog Fantasy. And I've already hit the PrizePicks play, right? I've already used the Taco Tuesday if you want to tail any of these picks. I'm not sure if they're still available. This game just started, so some value in tennis as well. But what can we look at next? So maybe we go back to Underdog. Let's see what esports plays are still available. I'm going to filter out the NFL. I mean, the NFL is just still, a while away. So let's skip over that. There was our 3-pick on Underdog Fantasy. So you can see Zorti, Underdog Fantasy, they already started to, get rid of their discrepancy. They previously had his line at 38 kills, right? PrizePicks had the line. Again, if we just pull it up again, you're going to see they have the line at, 41. So that's a big discrepancy. One of these sports books is clearly screwing up their line pretty big. In general, Underdog Fantasy seems to be the one that's, wrong. So you could middle bet this, right? Take the under 41, the over 38, or now at this point it moved to 39, but you get the point. But again, if you're only going to take one of these plays, would recommend, take the Underdog Fantasy side. You can see they've already adjusted from 38 to 39. So we lose a kill of value. But anyways, so we can try to take this pick so you can see Alyssa Thomas, right? We just hit her under 17. Underdog Fantasy already evaporated some of that value. They moved it down to 16.5. So that's a little annoying, but hey, that's just kind of how it is. So you can see they seem to be pretty low on their esports lines relative to PrizePicks. Here's another one, right? The fantasy optimizers pointing out huge discrepancy, 28.5 here, 30.5 on PrizePicks. Just following the value, the opportunity. You could take the over on Underdog, the under on PrizePicks, right? If Com has, 29 or 30 kills, you're going to win both bets, which is obviously good. It's a good thing if you can win both bets. That's called a middle bet. So we can check out Ka Cooper. Did Underdog Fantasy just bump down her rebound line? So her rebound line was at 4. They just bumped her down to 3.5. So let's reload this and let's take a look. See what other plays are actually still available out there because they're bumping lines left and right. So Cyrix, here's another one. And again, you could middle bet these. It's just, so you can see they already bumped it from 10 to 11 in front of our eyes on Underdog Fantasy as they start to correct their esports lines. PrizePicks initially had this at 12. Underdog Fantasy was at 10. You can see Underdog Fantasy has bumped it up to 11, and PrizePicks has bumped it down to 11.5. So the discrepancy, the value, is starting to disappear, which sucks. But hey, just kind of how it is. We can try to go quickly and create a little slip before any of these lines move again. We can go to CSGO on PrizePicks, make sure this is still, Underdog Fantasy has the line at 39, right? PrizePicks, so we want to get rid of this. PrizePicks has the line at 37, right? So solid value on the under. Again, you could middle bet this, but in general, Underdog Fantasy seems to be the one that's screwing up. So this is a little bit of a decent play that we can lock in as well. Another 3 plays with value on Underdog Fantasy. And then we can go back to Fliff. So again, the more books you have, the better. I say that in other videos, but like FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, these books are great. They have a lot of promos as well. It's not just PrizePicks that runs these weekly promos. There's a lot of books that run promos that have good bets. It's just depending on where you're located, you may have different sports books available. Like FanDuel is in a lot of states, like 15 states in the US. You can see Brendan Rodgers, they're giving him over 1.5 hits at plus 250. All the other sports books are around plus 200. That seems like a good bet on FanDuel. But I currently don't have access, to FanDuel. Depending on where you're located, you'll have different, sports books that are available to you, but the same concepts of, finding value, finding an edge. Here we go. So here we can make a little parlay. You can see Fliff has Graham Ashcraft minus 120. It looks like all the other sports books. So you look at every other sports book, right? They have this around like minus 150-ish. So again, this is good information for us. As a sports bettor, we're like, oh, okay. All these other books are pricing this. So let's move quickly and even create a little parlay. So again, if a bet is good in a parlay, profitable in a parlay, you can play it as a straight bet. You can play it in a parlay if you want to. So like, for example, We could just play this as a straight bet, which is what I'll go ahead and I'll do. I'll take Ashcraft under 5.5 hits allowed. And again, we're just finding a bunch of trades with an edge, a bunch of bets with an edge, you know, kind of across platforms. More books you have, the better. Locking them in, taking advantage. Let's see if there's anything in the chat. What's up, guys? So you can't directly like arbitrage bet. Arbitrage betting is great, but again, on Underdog Fantasy, as you mentioned, you need to place at least 2 picks. So you can't like directly middle bet them. But what you could do is you could take like the over 28.5 in an underdog slip. You could take the under 30.5 in a PrizePicks slip. And then, you know, you're obviously rooting for the outcome for this player to have 20, 29 or 30. But you can't directly middle bet because, again, like, so Underdog has max bet sizes of $100 for esports. So I'm not going to be able to play these. But you can see there's still some line discrepancies available. CSGO. Still some line discrepancies available that we could take advantage of. So here, I like these plays too. Like, it's always nice when there's multiple sports books that are both telling you the same thing. So like Wakadia, look at this player. Underdog has his line at 36. PrizePicks is higher at 37.5. JockMKT's even higher than that at 38, right? So we have 2 sports books, 2 data points, and they're both telling us the same thing. Hey, you know, this player's line should be higher. So again, most plays, most bets you look at, you're not going to find discrepancies, right? Like if you look up Jock Peterson, 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs, like what a surprise. PrizePicks has the line at the same level. There's no discrepancy. There's no value in the market, right? You're looking for those few rare spots where a sportsbook's screwing up. So you can see some different plays on Fliff, some college football bets showing up, whatever. But what we can do is we can reload Underdog. Maybe we place one more slip on Underdog. We've been running hot. We've been running hot on Underdog. Maybe see if we can find one more play to go with. Or on Jock Market. I mean, again, never know which book is going to have the value, the profitable bets on a given day. SportsBattle, you know, there's not much available. So don't want to force a bet. On SportsBattle, you want to go with 5 pick entries. You know, there's not 5 good plays. Nothing to play. Sleeper. This is a sports book where I almost exclusively am just betting the promos they have. I can almost never find a profitable bet on Sleeper if it's not a promo. So I don't place a lot of bets on Sleeper. So what we can do is we can take a look at ParlayPlay as well. Ooh. So this seems solid, right? I don't have ParlayPlay pulled up, but you can see there's some. Maybe we do pull up ParlayPlay. Let's hit a little slip, and then we'll call this live stream. So ParlayPlay is a sports book that they have better payouts than PrizePicks. I haven't checked this out yet. I've heard about it, but I haven't taken a look at the new DFS site. Fliff on PC, I just downloaded it from the App Store. I'm on a Mac. But yeah, good question. You can't directly middle bet or orbit. You're kind of like creating a little implied middle. But anyways, let's go to ParlayPlay because it seems like they have a lot of value. So this is another DFS site, a good site to have in your arsenal. Do we already have some picks open? McCowan. So it doesn't look like we do. So what we can do, it looks like there's some pretty good value in the WNBA. So again, I'm not saying it's the most popular platform out there, but they have some good bets available. So let's look at this player, Taria McCowan. ParlayPlay has her line at 12. They also have this little slide the line thing. Every day you can like bump a player in either direction you want to. So we wanted to take her under 12. We can get an extra half point of value and take her under 12.5 if we want to, right? Or if you wanted to take her over, you can bump the line to 11.5. So you can get a little bit more value on your plays. But if we go over to the WNBA player points, let's take a look at this. Let's see where other books have her line. So you can see FanDuel has her line at 12.5 or 11.5, and they have the under favored, right? So FanDuel has her line at 11.5. ParlayPlay's at 12, and they have the under heavily favored. So good enough. And ParlayPlay has really good payouts. So you don't need like, you know, so Kelsey Plum, you can see here, we hit this earlier on PrizePicks, I think, but all the other books have been ripping her line higher. Now you can see every other DFS site is setting her line at 17.5, right? That's valuable information. ParlayPlay has a line at 17. Everyone else is at 17.5 or 18.5 on Caesars. And FanDuel has the line at 17.5 with the over as the favored outcome. So in other words, FanDuel, a billion-dollar company with really sophisticated models pricing lines, they're saying, yo, this line should be at 17.5, and the over is actually the more likely or the favored outcome. And ParlayPlay has the line lower at 17. So over 17, is a no-brainer. So we can go here to Kelsey Plum. We can take her over 17, right? These two plays seem good. Again, if you want to, you could bump her line to 16.5, whatever. But let's just kind of quickly try to lock in a play. So we have Kelsey Plum over 17 as well. This play clear as day. All the other sports books have the line at 17.5. We can check out Diamond Miller. What's the deal with this woman? So this play seems good. Diamond Miller over 11.5. So I try to make sure like there's no negatively correlated plays. Like if you're playing plays in the same game, you just want to make sure like, it makes sense. Like it wouldn't make sense to take, Patrick Mahomes over, Travis Kelce under. So maybe a little value here on Ka Cooper. We can take a look here. Brittany Skies, Marina Marbury, Urias over half of the base. So we can take this. I mean, we can continue to just kind of build out our slip. So now we have 4 picks. On ParlayPlay, the optimal slip type is 5 or 6 pick entries. So we can just kind of, take a look, whatever, try to create a little slip. So we can continue to build it. And now we have 4 picks. Wilson over 9.5 rebounds. How do we feel about this? We can look at the data, pull up, kind of the sportsbook screen right here. What's the deal with Wilson? All the books have her line at 9.5, but sportsbooks have the over favored. Maybe that's a play we like. Maybe we want to stay away for a bit. Maybe the final play we go with is Verlander over 5.5 strikeouts. Sure, good enough. So it's pretty simple strategy, right? Like on this ParlayPlay platform, you either want to find lines where they're screwing up, right? So like for Kelsey Plum, all this other platforms, this is Underdog. They have her line at 17.5. ParlayPlay has her line too low, right? They have her line at 17, right? But for like Verlander, there's no discrepancy in where sportsbooks are setting the line. Or even better, we can look at this play because I already have it pulled up. For Urias, wait, did I want to take Verlander's under or over? I want to take his over. So let's make sure, sometimes when you're trying to move quickly, because you've seen how quickly some of these lines can move, you just want to make sure we're not screwing any of these lines up. So Oviedo, I wanted his under. So this all looks correct, right? So Urias, for example, we're taking his over, right? So there's no line discrepancy here, right? Every sportsbook has his line at 0.5 bases. But what you're going to see is like DraftKings Sportsbook, they have his over heavily favored, right? So he's more likely to go over as opposed to under. And ParlayPlay is a platform, right, where they don't change your payout. You'll see this payout is fixed. If I take Verlander under or over, the payout stays the same. So the way to beat them is you want to find spots. So if you go to pitcher props and you look at Verlander, you're going to see the same thing, right? His over is favored. So you want to look for spots where books have the over or the under. In this case, it's the over for Verlander, the over for Urias, heavily favored. Although this play I don't love, right? I don't love taking Verlander to get a bunch of strikeouts and then an opposing hitter to get bases. It doesn't make a ton of sense. So that's kind of negatively correlated. But regardless, we want to go with 5 or 6 pick entries on this platform. And we found 5 good picks, right? This play on Kelsey Plum's really good. A lot of good picks. So regardless, we can just go ahead. We can lock that in, bounce back to the positive EV tool. We already hit this play on Ashcraft for the max we could. You can see, like sometimes if you want more exposure to a bet, So we already hit this play on Colorado State plus 11 at plus 105, but there's also value on the plus 10.5. So if we wanted to, what we could do, that's not what I wanted. What we could do is double down and take them plus 10.5. Just go to alternate point spread, right? Load it up, and we can take a look, and we can get them plus 10.5 as well. And then we can lock that in for $250. So then we got another play. So again, the positive EV tool is really good for sports books like, FanDuel, Caesars, all that sort of stuff. Just pointing out value, right? Like, you want to go from being a losing sports bettor to a winning sports bettor. This tool is going to help you make more money when you win, right? It points out value, big discrepancies in the odds, spots where FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, whoever's screwing up, right? So it's just scanning all the lines, reading them in, and pointing out value. So here, this play seems good too, right? It looks like all other sports books, lines are constantly moving. You can see here, like Underdog MLB, like as lineups come out, the Tigers official lineup came out, whatever. As lineups change, weather changes, like the market moves, just like the price of a stock is, oh, the economy is doing well. Oh, stock prices go up. Like the market reacts to new information. It's no different in sports betting. So you can see like the line movements on all these other sports books, like Pinnacle, known to be one of the smarter sports books, right? They've ripped odds lower on this under 7 runs from plus 200 to plus 166. But all these books set lines independently, so they all got update odds. So we can go to the Yankees game. What is going on? So we got the Yankees versus my hometown team, Washington Nationals, and we want to take the under 7. So we can go to game lines. We can go to alternate total score. We can take under 7. You can see they just dropped it to plus 180. So we missed it. Yeah. So we missed it. This line just went down to plus 180. But regardless, here's a good bet on DraftKings, right? Tennis has some crazy big line movements, right? Like you can see crazy line movements. Every sports book, right? Pinnacle, FanDuel, Caesars, they're all telling you, yo, Mazarova is the favored person to win this tennis match. DraftKings is the only book that's like, no, Madison Brengle is favored. So minus 105 on DraftKings seems like a pretty good play with an edge. And again, the power of sports betting is once you get an edge. So here, oh, there we go. So now it's back. And why don't we parlay this with West Virginia over 52.5 points at plus 100. Pinnacle has the over favored, and we're getting plus 100. So it's like finding a coin weighted in your favor. So there's some good bets on Fliff today on the positive EV tool that we'll lock in, we'll take advantage of. So we go to alternate total score, try to move quickly before they pull the line on us. Over 52.5 plus 100, and then we have a little 2-pick parlay. It looks like the most random parlay of all time. But again, like you're kind of forming your own hedge fund, right? Like wherever there's value, that's where we're betting. And you can see there's some good value on West Virginia, Penn State. So this play, we locked in, right? So a lot of opportunity. Sportsbooks are starting to drop college football lines, which is leading to, so you can see like this line keeps getting better. All the other sportsbooks keep ripping odds towards this guy's under, right? Like average line now across the market is minus 146. Fliff has given us minus 120, right? Clear edge, clear play with value. What else do we want to go with? So again, like I can't use DraftKings, but if you do use DraftKings, that play on Masarova seemed pretty good. So does Blake Snell over 7.5 strikeouts. But anyways, we can go back to Underdog Fantasy. We hit this play on PlayPlay. So we hit a play on ParlayPlay. We hit some crap on Fliff. We can go back to Underdog Fantasy. Football is too far away. And we can take a look here. So you can see some of these same line discrepancies. Some CSGO plays. I mean, whatever. So anyways, we can call this live stream for now. Hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully PrizePicks does another Taco Tuesday soon. This current one's ending in 20 minutes. I'm sure I'll be back on live. But hopefully this was helpful. I don't use any sites. I don't know of any sites to verify, CSGO outcomes. Better app, I haven't checked. Yeah, you're also using, DFS platforms. So that's mainly the fantasy optimizer that we were discussing. This tool is good for PrizePicks, these different fantasy sites. But anyways, hopefully this live stream was helpful. We hit a lot of bets, so hopefully they win. And I'll be back on live later. See you guys.